Oh yeah, welcome back to the madness. Cliff here, Chandra over there. This is not gospel. Oh yeah, we're talking about Halloween. We're talking about costumes and ritual sacrifice. Oh yeah.
It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Thank you for choosing to spend the next few minutes with us here at Not Gospel. This is Not Gospel.
Oh yeah, Tito Santana. What up, Chandra?
Does he really talk like that?
You're tucking to the cream of the crop.
I think that's racist.
I'm going for the Intercontinental Championship. Oh yeah.
Anyways, hello everybody and welcome to Cliff and Chandra here at Not Gospel Studios. This is our Halloween podcast special.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
We're celebrating already.
Oh, it's going to be fun. If you don't like it,
That's too bad, eh?
I don't even know who this person is.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
I don't know who that is.
Oh my gosh.
Is he from a long time ago where you're so old?
The madness, oh yeah. One half of the...
What were they called? Do you know what they're called?
One half of the mega powers, oh yeah.
What mega powers?
A wrestler. Macho Man Randy Savage.
Snap it to a Slim Jim.
I don't know what's going on here.
All right. So, Chandra,
Yes.
should Christians celebrate Halloween?
If you are worshiping a pagan god, I would say no.
What about Day of the Dead or whatever it is? Is it Spanish origins? Is it Spanish or Mexican origins?
I don't know.
Latino origins. The Day of the Dead. I am inclined to agree. I think there's a misconception that Christians don't want to have fun. That Christianity itself isn't fun. And I beg to differ. My religion allows me to dress like this insanity and let my kids go get some candy.
No, leave the hat
Oh,
on.
it's so hot.
That's funnier.
I know.
It's got a bow on the back. Take the glasses off, but leave the hat on. That's better.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna hurt your throat.
Tito Santana. Ooh.
How
He
do you?
used to do that. It sounded so provocative. He'd be like,
What?
Oh yeah.
I don't think that sounds provocative. I might be having a stroke.
he took these creams. He'd be like,
When you're messing with Macho Man, you're talking about the cream of the crop.
and he'd have these little creams. He'd pull them out in his wrestling promos. Oh, it was so good, Chandra. I'm burning up in this thing.
So was this back in the Hulk Hogan days?
Yes. Hulk Hogan was the other half of the Mega Powers. There's these promos.
Oh, there's Mega Powers as a group of wrestlers?
Was two, the tag team Mega Powers.
Oh,
There's
tag
this whole promo where they're like, Hulk Hogan's like,
Listen, brother, I thought there was nothing more exciting and more powerful in the world than Hulkamania out there, man. But then I realized there's a whole other universe out there, and the Macho Maniac Madness, man. And he's like, and I'm scared to shake hands with this guy right now, man. The whole place might explode.
like it was just testosterone and cocaine, like to the next level. There's memes where they're like, when the cocaine kicks in, it's like images of Macho Man and Hulk and the Ultimate Warrior just like, like just
I think
going nuts.
at this point, I'd rather Christians participate in Halloween than I would wrestling.
Oh no! Listen, there's nothing more godly than the old WWF
Oh,
or WWE rather, I guess. I agree with you there. Like if you're worshiping a pagan deity, like it's probably not Jesus. Okay, let's just be real here. But let's get into the little bit the more nuanced Halloween conversation. Sexy outfits.
what?
Well,
I
everything
thought we were
is
going to talk about like the Bible.
no. Well, like you know how it is. Like it's sexy bumblebee and sexy, like all random things.
Sexy cat.
Sexy pumpkin outfit where it's like it's orange with stripes and it's a bikini and you're supposed to be a pumpkin. It's like,
Yeah.
Can Christians do that?
I mean, you know, I think all things in moderation. Modesty is important. Things like that. And I think sometimes when people are new to the faith, they still engage in those behaviors. But mature Christians, I don't believe, want to show their boobies to everybody. That's all I'm saying.
If your pumpkin outfit comes complete with booty shorts, you might want to check that at the cross.
Yeah.
I agree. Whenever we went out as a family, we always pick some theme. This was last year's theme, by the way. Just sorry about y'all. This was last year's theme. We were all wrestlers, and it was awesome. And my wife was Miss Elizabeth. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to check out Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth. She's the first lady of wrestling, by the way.
Oh, wait, hold on. I remember Katie's outfit.
Yes.
She was Macho Man's real life wife.
Yes.
See, I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's funny.
Miss Elizabeth was Macho Man's wife. They split up, and then she wound up getting with Lex Luger. And then she wound up, it's a sad story, she wound up overdosing.
Oh.
Yeah, later.
See, WWE's looking worse than Halloween already.
There is a tunnel right down in our hometown that you know better than to go down there on Halloween, because you know people dressed in black robes are doing weird stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard of this.
I've been down there.
Were there
creepy.
black robes?
It's creepy. There's all kinds of like occult-looking symbols and stuff like written all over the place.
Yeah, that's just teenagers with a spray gun.
I'm not going to go down there at Halloween time unless I'm packing heat.
Scared of the children's.
No, I don't want to
Children's
have my liver
of the
taken
corns.
up and wake up in a bathtub full of ice. Ooh, yeah. Step into a bathtub.
Okay, so you do acknowledge that there is occult behavior
Yeah,
around the Halloween
You have
time.
to. You have to be aware of that. Like you can't run around in denial that like, oh, Halloween is just all in good fun. Halloween is for a lot of people, a lot of religions, a lot of occult. It's like a celebration of a cult. There are people that do perform sacrifices to demonic entities, you know, and stuff on Halloween, of course. And I agree. Like with Christians, it's like going out and letting your kids go trick or treating. Going out and to a Halloween party, you know, and none of that stuff to me is in any way, shape, or form paying homage or honoring these deities and these other practices of these occult things and stuff. It's not.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's.
Now, if you were letting your children sacrifice babies and kittens, then I would be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think you got a bigger problem.
Yeah.
I think you better check. That's just not Christian. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. That ain't Christian. But there's a more nuanced conversation about Halloween. Can you watch scary movies as a Christian? Do you think that's acceptable? Like horror movies?
I think it's kind of like the all things in moderation thing. Like, it's a personal decision, I think. But I do think that a lot of times people who are in a certain spot in the relationship with God aren't wanting to see blood and guts. But that's just my personal opinion.
That's what I was thinking to say. So, like,
Yeah.
you have to check. We have to figure out also what constitutes as a scary movie or a horror movie, because you and I said that we watched Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness and thought that's kind of a horror movie.
Yeah,
and
which I enjoyed it.
What other people may say that's not a horror movie. Other people may say that's not a horror movie. That's a PG-13, whatever.
Yeah.
And then things they think are actual horror movies, we may be like, that's a freaking snuff film.
Yeah.
So
what's a snuff film?
When they actually literally kill people on screen. Oh. So the thrill of feeling scared a little bit, like there's scriptures where it's like, God is not giving you a spirit of fear, you know, and it's like, but being scared, getting a jump scare or something is actually kind of exhilarating, you know, and I all the time with my wife, she's coming home from work, I will hide behind the door. She comes on, I'm like, hey, babe. She freaks out. She's at the sink brushing her teeth and stuff. I'll climb like over the crib where Judah used to lay, and I'll be waiting up there, waiting. And as soon as she walks through the door, I'm like, hey, babe. And she just freaks. I mean, there's something fun about, you know, jump scares and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on things like movies like Hostel and Saw and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all that stuff where you've just got like people being mutilated? Like the body horror genre.
Yeah, I don't think it's wise to be putting in your brain.
Would you say Christians shouldn't be doing that? In your opinion, you can have your opinion.
For me in my house, I don't think it's a good thing.
I know we can always say, well, just work out your own salvation in fear and trembling. But I'm like, if you were writing the code for Christianity, are you like, you ain't watching no body horror? Like Human Centipede or whatever it is in them, where they're like sewing people together and all that crap.
No, no. I think if someone who says they're a Christian has a taste for that, there might be something wrong.
Well, and
I know that's saying a lot to some people in a judgmental way, but
yeah. Well, what about psychological thrillers like
Silence of the Lambs?
I was just thinking that Silence of the Lambs, but that doesn't necessarily have a lot of that body horror, but it alludes to it. There's a little bit of it in demonstration. Like, what do you think about that stuff?
I think it depends. I definitely think that depends on the person and the family. Like, for like me and my family, like if it's a rated R movie, if there's nudity involved, my husband's probably not going to watch it because he can't be trusted to close his eyes. Whereas, whereas if I know nudity's happening, I can just look away for a moment and then the movie goes on. It's not that big a deal. So I think it's to each their own at that point.
But if Chandra was writing the book,
I would say it's up to you.
well, and what people are going to say is they're going to be like, give me chapter, scripture, and verse for this kind of thing.
Well, what the Bible talks about eating meat that's been sacrificed to idols.
I hadn't really thought of it that way. Like those scriptures and application with Halloween and like, you know, what you do. I guess I would say if there was a neighbor in my neighborhood that I knew was like from the Church of Satan and all their candy was like sacrificed to Lucifer or something, I'd probably let my kids just bypass that house and be like, we're not going there.
Yeah, but the Bible says it's allowed.
Halloween for me personally, is one of my absolute favorite holidays. It's right up there with Christmas. It's so much fun to get an opportunity to dress up. My kids love it. And I personally feel like it's whatever atmosphere you cultivate in your home.
Yeah.
My kids think Halloween, they don't think, we still watch Nightmare Before Christmas, Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, and that's creepy. You know, it's creepy.
It's fun.
And stuff. But they don't think automatically it's all about skeletons and blah, 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 and undead
Well, you're not
zombies
letting them see the really bad horror movies, so they don't have anything to compare it to.
Well, of course not, but my kids are so young.
Yeah.
Like,
tons of people
there's some stuff that I would still let my kids watch, but when they're teenagers.
Well, there's tons of families that will let very little children watch horror movies.
Not me, no.
That's
I don't think
insanity to me.
Well, to me, that's the same as exposing your children early to porn.
That's how I feel.
I feel like, you know, sexual sin and mutilation are in the same category. You're desensitizing your kid at a young age to people getting chopped up to bits.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that with even Nightmare Before Christmas when Sally throws herself from the window and her leg comes off, you know, and it's stuffing and she's sewing her arm back on. We were watching it and I was like, this might be a little too creepy for Judah. Even though that's not a real person, it's pretend,
well,
it's a doll.
He's 2 or 3, right?
Yeah, he's 2.
Yeah.
I'm sure he doesn't think leaves are inside of us, but he probably doesn't think anything's inside of us. We're balloon animals. You know. With the horror stuff, I think the same thing is like with porn. There's going to be a red mark right here on my head where this hat just, oh my gosh. Oh. Woo. But no, to my kids, Halloween isn't just all the horror stuff. Like this year we're going as Minecraft characters. And I've got to make like a whole cardboard mask because I'm going as a villager from Minecraft. And I get to walk around going, huh, you know, like that because that's all the villagers, the noise they make. And it's fun. We go around trick-or-treating. We get together with with my brother and sister-in-law and their family. And I think there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's so much fun. I think even getting older, when my kids get teenage years, we might sit down together as a family and watch Halloween classics. And I don't know how you feel about this, things like Halloween, like the original with Michael Myers and stuff like that. I did watch like the TNT version that came on, and so it was like edited and stuff, so I don't even know if I've ever seen like the full version. We might use it as a PSA to keep our kids from having sex. Because, you know, all those old movies, it was always the people that, only the virgins escaped.
I think when your boys are teenagers and you sit down to watch Halloween with them, I think at the time you might start feeling like, why did I do this?
Maybe, yeah. I think there's no harm in it because I turned out okay.
Mm-hmm. Did you though?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not the one who can't blow her nose if she wants because she's got paint on her face.
You told me to do it.
None of this is true. She came from her own volition. She made herself up from her own volition.
He took me out of the closet and said, "Put this on."
Oh, geez. Since you sort of condemned me for saying I'd watch Halloween with my teenage kids.
No, I was saying you might regret it later. I don't see that there's a
The
good thing that can
condemnation
come
is
around
really
about it.
thick right now, all I'm saying.
I'm fine with that.
Because of that, what are your top 10 favorite, if you had to pick top 10 as a Christian, these are some must-see Halloween movies as a Christian. Go.
I don't know if I can even name 10, but I think that's a boring conversation.
Okay, 1. Nightmare Before Christmas, must-see with the kids.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. 2, Edward Scissorhands.
I'm fine with it.
I watched it with my kids here recently.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little promiscuous.
Well, you remember, like, when I was a teenager and Friends would come on. My mom didn't approve of children watching the show Friends.
Yeah.
But as a kid, I thought that was crazy because I didn't see anything dirty about it. But now as an adult, when I watch, I get all the little innuendos.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of movies will be like that. I think your kids won't even notice the sexuality.
It was definitely awkward because there's that one super like horn dog mom who's like, who's the new guy? And she tries to take advantage of him in the back of the salon. And then there's that moment when he's cutting her hair and she's all like, oh, like... I felt a little awkward watching that with my kids, although they don't know what that is.
Yeah.
They don't know what's going on. It still was awkward. But the creepy part of it wasn't that creepy.
No.
But so I think that's as a Christian, that's a classic you can watch around Halloween.
Well, okay. Movies aside, you wanted to know about, like, biblically what a Christian celebrating Halloween.
Yeah.
What I thought. What do you think?
I mean, biblically, I don't see any harm in it. I'm trying to find. I can't find anything in my brain or any in my scripture brain that is like, oh, this scripture right here clearly condemns Halloween.
What about just celebrating pagan holidays in general? Which I see a really large legalistic movement in the Christian community right now.
Okay.
To go back to like Jewish traditions, and they don't believe in celebrating Halloween, Christmas, Easter, stuff like that.
In my opinion, it's like that's where I do have to go from home to home and say, in my home, we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ on Christmas. Period. Doesn't matter where the origination of that date came from.
Yeah.
That's the time we have chosen to celebrate the birth of Jesus. Easter is the time we have chosen to celebrate the resurrection of Christ. I know that a lot of these holidays, in terms of their time and their positioning in the year and the calendar, have their roots in pagan stuff. But this is just the time that me and my family choose to celebrate Jesus' resurrection, period. So to me, it's like that's where I have to go from home to home. And so Halloween's a tricky one because it's a time to celebrate nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not celebrating anything in Halloween. I'm just taking an opportunity to dress up and be completely silly with my family.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what I'm celebrating. An opportunity to cut loose and just pretend for a day.
I think a lot of Christians, the Christians who do celebrate Halloween, are more, they see every day is God's day. And that if the pagans tried to claim a day, who cares? We can dress up on that day if we want to, you know?
Well, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
What about all the sugar and candy?
Well, I don't let my kids eat all the candy. Anymore, I'll be honest with you. We've taken and we have candy here at the house, and this is letting us a cat out of the bag. We live in a really good neighborhood, but most of the time they collect all that candy, and then when they're gone, we put new candy in there from our stuff that we have here.
So what do you do with?
It's gone.
Gone where?
Trashed.
What? Give me the candy this year.
Okay.
That's so funny.
People are weird.
You trashed the candy?
I don't know what those people did to it. People are weird.
Oh, that's why you trashed it. I
Yes.
thought you were mean because of sugar.
No, it's not like, oh, I got good candy that's got like 0 calorie. No, I put like the same kind of candy, Reese's, whatever you name
Oh,
it, but I bought it packaged from the store. It's here and it's a controlled thing. You have heard horror stories of poisoning and candies and stuff at Halloween. Now, my neighborhood's a great neighborhood. I live in a great part of town. It's a small neighborhood, so if that happened, I mean, I might be walking around with my pistol, like, who did it? You know,
Yeah.
that's a joke. But what I'm getting at
It's
here
fine.
is, even though that doesn't happen in my community, probably, I'm still being erring on the side of caution, giving my kids the opportunity to go collect candy and trick or treat and participate in all that.
Yeah.
It has no spiritual connotations in our house. I will say that if they were to attempt to make it something spiritual, like say the government decided that from now on, if you go out and trick or treat, somehow they made it where it was blatantly and obviously a pagan thing. Like, we as a country are worshiping so and so on this day. I would 100% stop celebrating Halloween without question. Because then it'd be like, well, now I'm just condoning. I'm participating in what you got going on, and I'm not.
Yeah.
So,
Now, this isn't a Christian thing.
all right.
This is just you live in a fancy neighborhood type thing.
Okay.
There was a lot of discussion online on like Facebook and stuff. There was some crazy eyes you just gave.
Sorry. This eye's real dry. I think I'm sweating in
Just
this
the
and
one
getting
eye.
dehydrated. Like and I'm just like,
This can be your jogging outfit to lose weight.
what are you saying?
That you've been trying to lose weight.
This is true. I will not jog in this around my neighborhood. I could do it without the hat.
In your little fancy neighborhood jogging on your Macho Man outfit.
I got this third eye growing in the middle of my head from this thing. It hurts.
Well, anyways.
Anyway, back to fancy neighborhoods
Yeah, there
and
was
Facebook.
Yeah, there was a Facebook discussion where people were angry that people from all around would go to the nice neighborhoods to get their kids candy. Mm-hmm. They think you should only do it in the neighborhood that you live in.
Those people are dumb,
I think so too.
in my opinion.
I agree.
Because we go to my brother and sister-in-law's neighborhood to go trick-or-treating with their kids, both families, and then they come over here. And it's like every other year we swap neighborhoods. So if people want to come over here and get candy, it's fine. I don't care.
So does your brother throw away all his candy too?
I don't know. That's
Let me
probably just
know.
me being weird.
I'm just going to come out with a bunch of candy this year.
Yeah, I'll just give you all the candy they collect.
That's so
You
funny.
say a prayer over it and just go for it.
I'm ready.
I'm sure it's fine. That's the thing. It's all good
know.
stuff. It's about to be like a real WWE event in here. I'm about to be like slinging sweat everywhere.
Oh,
You're going to leave here with my DNA on you.
that's disgusting.
Thank you. Ooh, yeah.
Please cut that one out.
Anyways, as far as we're concerned here at Not Gospel Studios, if you couldn't tell by our ridiculous outfits, this is actually a really good outfit for Pride Month.
Clifton,
Isn't it, though? Say it's not.
I don't
If
wanna
I
talk
showed
about
up
it.
at a Pride event dressed like this, I would be a local. Admit it.
I don't want to talk about it.
You can nod, though. Wink.
No.
She just nodded. So yes, here at Not Gospel Studios, we appreciate Halloween. As long as you're not sacrificing cats and whatnot to Bahamut or whatever they're called, go for it. I mean, have fun. Be safe. Be safe. If you take your kids trick-or-treating, be safe. If you live in a neighborhood where you're uncertain, hey, buy a bunch of bags of candy. Let your kids go out and trick-or-treat. And when they're done at that night, take all that, dump it, do what you want with it, and put the safe, controlled candy back in there the way you want. And there you go. If you think I'm being a control freak for doing that, write it in the comments. If you if you appreciate that healthy and safety first tip, write that in the comments. And what are some of your favorite Halloween movies? Because Chandra refuses to tell me because she likes to keep up the illusion that she never watches any horror films.
I don't watch scary movies.
You said you're gonna watch Multiverse of Madness this year, and
That's not a real scary movie, though. It's not like a slasher film.
You know, I've watched one movie that I like seriously regretted. That like a horror movie. It had Johnny Depp, and he was investigating Jack the Ripper.
Oh.
From Hell. That's what it's called. That movie gave me eerie, sick feelings when I was inside the theater. It was just not. It was just thinking about it right now. Save yourself the trouble. Don't
What
watch that
about
movie.
like those Netflix movies, Dahmer and stuff that's out right now?
I bet that's gonna be gross.
Yeah, they're saying it's really bad.
Yeah.
And people are like glamorizing it and being like, oh, he's so sexy.
Not real people though, like dummies. Just dummies. Those dummy dumbs. Dummy dumbs are over there saying he looks sexy.
Sheeple.
Sheeple. If you like this clip from the Not Gospel Studios YouTube channel, don't forget to share. Click on one of the other links and videos. You can find them here and here, and subscribe. I think it's down here. Tell your friends about us. Tell them that it's healthy, that it's vegan, and all of those things. Keep being awesome, because that's how God made you.